It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show. It is Expresso. We're live right here on SABC3 on a beautiful Wednesday morning. Thank you very much for choosing this, to start the day off with us. Now, of course, you did see Kuhle coming to you live from Krugersdorp out in Johannesburg. And you're probably wondering why? Why is Kuhle out in the wild? Well, this morning, Kuhle is visiting what used to be called the Animal Creche and now called the Wildlife Center to really explore the rich diversity of wildlife that our country has to offer. And right now, finding out how they've been coping throughout lockdown, but of course, what that center of the Botongo Group has to offer. Over to you, Kuhle.
Listen, man, we are truly privileged as South Africans to have a wide variety of wildlife on our home soil. And that is why I'm truly excited to be at the Rhino and Lion Nature Reserve to learn more about these species, but most importantly about the ones that are also endangered. We are joined this morning by Mike Finn to learn more about the reserve. A very good morning to you, sir. Thank you for having me.
And good morning to you, Kuhle.
I believe that, you know, the reserve changed from Animal Creche to the Wildlife Center. Why was there a change?
Yes, Kuhle, that's correct. The creche really was in place whilst we had animal interactions and cub petting in place. The management actually took a decision last year to stop cub petting and animal interactions for a number of reasons. And this became the Wildlife Centre here, which is where we've got a lot of endangered species and indigenous species as well. The decision was a huge one. It was a bold move to move away from cub petting, primarily because we believe that the focus should be on the animal rather than on the human. And so we went in that direction. We said that we believe that you don't have to touch to connect. We would far rather our visitors made an emotional connection to the animals rather than a physical connection. And there are a lot of complications involved, you know, with cub petting.
What kind of complications, Mike?
Well, you know, you have to have, obviously, baby animals, which means that you need to remove those animals from their mother after a few days, hand rear them, and then you've got a limited time, obviously, where you can use those animals in interactions as such, because predators tend to grow. And when they grow, they can become dangerous. So after several months, maybe 3 to 6 months or so, you've got a limited period, and then what are you going to do after that? Now you've got a lot of animals which you're holding on to, let's say. At some stage, you're going to have to dispose of those animals.
That's true.
Unless you're going to spend a huge amount of money to look after the animals for the rest of their lives, which is obviously not possible. So, although it was a big revenue generator, obviously. So that's why it was such a bold decision to take. So we believe it's the right direction.
I also truly believe that it is the right direction, because as humans, we so focused on, you know, our own human satisfactions, and we forget about the processes that you've just mentioned now about, you know, taking cubs away from their families and their parents and training them to feed our own, you know, desires. So that is truly a bold move that you've made. And how have the public received that decision?
You know, very well, I think. Look, obviously it's lovely to be able to pet a little animal.
Yes.
You know, it's cuddly and it's beautiful and all of those sort of things. But when you start taking into consideration all these other factors, the public then begins to see that, in fact, what we're doing is we're focusing on the animals' welfare rather than on the humans' satisfaction and our satisfaction. So, as I say, rather make the emotional connection.
Which animal is that one? It is so big and so majestic. I'm not sure if we can see that one.
Kuhle, that is a Bengal white tiger. A beautiful animal. And yes, they do grow to an enormous size, obviously. Wow. This is an enclosure that we built recently to house them. And, you know, tigers love water.
Yes.
And so you can see that there's this lovely pool of a waterfall and a stream running through. And they spend a lot of time in the water.
Really?
Playing in the water and just getting themselves cool, particularly in the hot weather.
That's very interesting to learn, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm so
So-
excited to explore the rest of the nature reserve, so I'll be here the rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
For
Well,
teaching
lovely
us
to have you,
about the-
Kuhle, and your viewers.
Honestly, such a lovely thing to learn about the nature reserve and the history and the name change and the reasons behind it. And we're going to
Yeah.
be learning so much more about it because later on, we're going to be going to the breeding center to see exactly what they do that side. You do not want to miss it. Keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.